Corruption in India, an oral report. In this report, I will talk about the corruption in India. Well, corruption is a social issue in India, a pressing social issue. And I've been reading in the elections in blogs, and according to this blog, corruption is even ruining the spine of the nation. There are numbers of scams and scandals that I would be able to mention, which have completely destroyed and ruined the country. Some of these scandals are the Colgate scam, the 2G scam, and the CWG scandal. All scandals that I just mentioned happened due to the weakness of the government and India as a nation. So in this report, we're going to see how we can prevent these scandals happening once again. Currently, political parties blame each other. They point fingers at each other for the corruption. But the truth is that even the top ministers have been involved in some of the world's biggest scandals. So corruption happens in all levels. In order to understand why corruption is occurring in India, it could be helpful to look a little bit at India's history. Well, important to mention is that India had a number of influences throughout its history, invasions and expansions of other nations. And yeah, India was a wealthy country until the British colonization. After India gained its independence again in 1947, there was a slow progression, but India was no longer the nation it was before the British colonization. Before the British colonization, India was very wealthy both culturally and economically. And today, there are a number of social issues in the country. Unemployment is unfortunately a social ill. And women's working conditions are very poor and the wages are low. So what can water aid do to prevent this social issue of corruption? First and foremost, corruption needs to be fought at the ground level. So currently, there's a habit of, how we say, taking money under the table. And there needs to be strict rules at all levels of government undertakings. There also needs to be an awareness among the people in order to prevent corruption. So there needs to be an awareness of not being able to take money under the table, so to say. WaterAid is a global federation of non-profits working with local governments. So therefore, WaterAid as an organization needs to take on the responsibility to educate the people and the local government about corruption. So we need to raise an awareness. What can I do to help WaterAid prevent corruption in India? As I just mentioned, there's a habit in all levels of taking money under the table. It can be easier to do so when you have a low wage and you need to provide for your family. But taking bribes must be a non-existing habit. Not only the government needs to take strong actions against giving or taking bribes, but the habit of not taking any bribes must be implemented in the culture. So that habit needs to be completely erased, and takes time to raise that awareness. Therefore, we need to educate in all levels. I would be able to contribute in giving courses about corruption in local schools. I would also be able to communicate in different languages with the local government, such as in English and Spanish, if that would be necessary. Thank you very much for listening to this oral report about corruption in India. Bye bye.